Only takes a moment though, so. This is a full enlightenment meditation. Oh, you already done? Oh, never mind. Rick's good.
Happened to abandoning fruition.
That's right. We're taking fruition as the path, as they say. Alrighty, so just settling in. Mingyur Rinpoche likes to emphasize what the true part of meditation is before you begin. Before the expectations arise, before the efforting, before we become a meditator, before we make meditation a thing. As soon as we begin, it becomes something. A lot of times in Buddha Dharma, instead of thinking of a goal, we actually abandon the goal after the intention is made. So right now you can move into your intention. Sometimes we make a universal intention, something to the tune of, may I attain enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. It does not need to be that lofty. It can be meditating to bring in more peace and calm into everyday life. But go ahead and connect with your intention today. What brought you here? And then after connecting with that intention, connecting with any teachers or teachings, lineages that you have connections to, and ask for their blessing. Doing this in support of the intention, Saints and sages of all times and all religions, please bless me with your presence, so that I may attain the states of awakening that you have attained for the benefit of all beings. And connecting with your individual teachers and teachings that are in your heart. And connecting with loving kindness. Loving kindness settles the mind. If it is overactivated, and energizes the mind if it is underactivated. May all beings everywhere without exception, may they all be happy and free from suffering. Allowing people in your life to come to mind specifically that might be in need of some loving kindness and compassion, or groups of people. May you be well, may you be at ease, may you feel joyful. And then moving that loving kindness towards yourself. May I be happy. May I be at ease. May I be free from suffering. allowing this intention of kindness to reverberate out through your body, your mind, throughout the emotional body. Eventually connecting with the boundless spiritual love that has no end. Next, inviting the mind to be awake, mindful, and alert, turning it towards self awareness. And at the same time, releasing the idea of effort, noticing with less effort, the mind is naturally stable. I'm simply here, and I know that I'm here. As Sokni Rinpoche would say, do not meditate, but do not be distracted. Using the mind's natural alertness, it's naturally awake, simply sitting and breathing and being, knowing that you are sitting, breathing, and being. Just slowly coming back. Allowing the eyes to open, the body to move. When you're ready. Welcome, Buddhas. Anybody here for the first time? No. Joe, you've been here before. Rick. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming out today. So I wanted to chat today about a term that I heard recently. The phrase was a compassion deficit, that we're in the middle of a compassion deficit right now. So I want to chat a little bit about this and chat about remedies, like how can we remedy this compassion deficit? Uh, but what's cool is that we're doing it right now, just sitting together, opening our hearts, connecting with love and kindness, compassion, all of these things. So it's beautiful to have intentions and to think about things, but then to actually do something about it, like meditation, especially meditating together. And it's really beautiful. Yeah, so this term compassion deficit, I just saw a quick little social media clip, so I don't actually remember what show it was on or who was the individual talking. It was like the Daily Show type of program, and the individual was an older white man in a suit. It looked like a government type of guy. That's all I remember. And he said, the thing that I'm most worried about is the compassion deficit that is happening. And I like how we use this term deficit. Uh, it's like economics. We see that term deficit. So it was a cool way to quantify somehow compassion and the lack thereof. Um, he spoke about a government program that has been recently defunded, and because of that lack of funding, they have documented 90,000 children have passed away, which is just absolutely unimaginable to think about this. Um, and he said, "Where's the outrage? Where nobody's even really mentioning it or anything. You know, there's a compassion deficit, and how do we remedy this? We need to get that back, right?" Uh, So maybe we could talk infinitely on the causes of this, what's kind of happening. But I think as Dharma practitioners, this is nothing new. Like as Dharma practitioners, we're always noticing there's a compassion deficit. If you're like me, I notice the main compassion deficit is within me. I notice I have a compassion, deficit for one, to start with. And then when we kind of move in and into ourselves and we really touch upon and actively look for this within ourselves, more loving kindness and compassion, we really wish others and the world and everything would be more dedicated to this. One thing that maybe we could start with, which is kind of odd to even think about, but maybe we need to, which is why. Um, why does it even matter? Why do we want to be compassionate? It seems quite odd to even think about this, but I think maybe there's so much craziness out there. People are literally, fighting and believing in hate. They're validating it. So why do we want to validate loving kindness and compassion? And the simple answer is this what we are. It's who we are. It's what we are. Anything other than kindness and compassion does not feel good on some level. It actually doesn't. So we see a lot of hate groups, for example, they come together for a sense of love and belonging. They're insufficient. They're looking, they have an insecurity around something. And so that might feel good in a certain way for this sense of belonging. But actually, especially when we become self-aware and we look in and we connect, even coming together in that way hurts on some level. There's a pain point there. Whenever we chop up and put boundaries on love, like I love you, but not you, whenever we do this thing, it hurts because love itself, which is a piece of us, is truly boundless and unconditional. And so there is always going to be some form of pain arising if we don't have empathy, the ability to feel each other's pain, connect with that, to have compassion, which is empathy and action. It's a kind of a definition for compassion, empathy, the ability to feel, compassion, to allow that empathy to move towards an action of some kind, even if it's like in prayer form. Sometimes we can't actively connect physically with somebody, but we could wish for their happiness, right? So feeling into this, like, why do we need more kindness and compassion? Obviously, like, what kind of world do we want to live in? Like, what kind of like peace and harmony? We can go on and on. Another thing that he said was, and I totally know what he means by this, but he said, well, I mentioned this already. He said, where's the outrage? Like, where's the outrage in this? But actually, if we want to remedy this compassion deficit, we can't do so with rage. And I think this is the main point of how do we remedy this? It's connecting with with kindness and compassion. So the mind, from a Dharma perspective, I should start with, from a Dharma perspective, we go from the inside out. The mind and the world perspective is to go from the outside in. What I mean by that is if we see something or witness something where people are victims of hate or harm, this hurts within ourselves. This is a moment of empathy and compassion. We hurt. We see hurt. We hurt. Then we see that this harm is being done by somebody. And that root compassion moves to a surface level emotion of, of anger. So if we look at anger, jealousy, all of these things, if you look at the root, it's always compassion, compassion for self, compassion for others. But then we could very quickly be connected and kind of stay within the anger. And then we act out of the anger, even in an external way, we can act out of anger. And yet we will say that we're fighting for peace, this whole phrase like fighting for peace. And we want to make an internal change in people, but we're doing it on the outside. So we want people to shift inside. We really wish somebody in their heart can find empathy too, right? Those people that are causing harm, can they please find empathy and compassion for the people that they're harming? Yet we're doing this from the outside, right? From a dharma perspective, we go from the inside. So from the inside, we connect with loving kindness and compassion more as a way to connect with the loving kindness and compassion within other beings. There is like a magnetic resonance, if you will. Am I saying that word right? Resonance? Yeah. A connection. So if there's two people fighting, it's very difficult for the influential people, maybe the people in the middle that need to be swayed one way or another. If there's just hate and hate, there's no visual representation of love, so people could say, that's true, that's love, that's peace. Reminds me of Thich Nhat Hanh. Anyone see that footage of Thich Nhat Hanh walking, doing his slow, walking meditation in Manhattan? You ever see that? I think it's Manhattan, where it's crazy chaos city, and Thich Nhat Hanh and his crew are doing walking meditation down the street. And have you ever seen Thich Nhat Hanh? Nobody could walk slower than Thich Nhat Hanh. He could win the award of walking slow. I think the trees grow faster around him as he walks through them. It is so cool. You could feel like the you could feel the dichotomy. At first, like when I saw it, it was actually uncomfortable because I'm like, just go, dude. Like, what are you doing? Just go. And then you gotta really sit with it. You gotta sit with that. You gotta sit with, wow, look at that. Look at that. Look at that example of peace. Look at that example of patience. Look at that example of I already am what I'm seeking. Look at that example of there's nothing to achieve. There's nowhere to go. Look at that example. Now that example resonates in all of us. There's a resonance in all of us that will resonate. Just like when we go into meditation all together and we feel that we're sitting and stopping, and we're from all walks of life and we have different careers and everything, but we all could sit and stop and we feel thatness, like whatever that is, like why are we all here? Different ages, different backgrounds, all this stuff. What are we touching on that brings us all together to sit and do nothing together on a beautiful, sunny or summer day in Long Beach? We're going to sit here together and do absolutely nothing. And then we're going to go home and say we did something because we went to meditation. And we did. What did we do? We connected with that loving kindness and compassion. That's something real within ourselves. So I think the real danger is moving to those surface level emotions and hanging out in those surface level emotions that arise actually from compassion. Because the way to remedy the compassion deficit is first within ourselves, and that is remedied by actually connecting with it. I know it sounds obvious, but really connecting with it. So when we see that harm being inflicted, may those beings be well that are victims. May those that are causing harm, may they too be well. May they too be whole. May they too may they see their wrongs move into love, kindness, compassion, empathy. For the sole purpose of becoming the love that we want to have others display. This is the key. It's the only way. The only way is for us to really marinate in this loving kindness and compassion and to show those examples, those physical examples. There's a political figure that I follow. Um, and he's very, very much doing the very difficult work as much as he possibly can. And he also he's pointing to the things within the government that are leading to a compassion deficit. I'll put it at that. But a lot of his social media posts are just about examples of kindness. He keeps showing examples of it. Just could be an animal helping an animal or whatever, just like showing examples of kindness, not like, anti-hate, but pro-peace, pro-love, which I think is extremely important. Just the fact that I'm so happy that the Dharma has spread like it has in the past decade or so. Um, I know the purists, coined the term mindfulness, when mindfulness became really popular and everything. Uh, but actually, how cool, how amazing is it that how many of you know the word metta? Yeah, heard of it. Yeah. And have you guys realized that a lot of people know the word metta? Like metta means loving kindness in Pali, loving friendliness. Um, I want to say it's mainstream, but it's out there, right? Remember when the Lakers player changed his name to Meta World Peace? People are like, "What the heck was that? What the heck is that?" Um, yeah, I heard some statistic like 40,000 people go through Spirit Rock a year. Is that right? Something like that. That's amazing. That's just one Dharma center. And it gets me thinking of like, gosh, that's so many people have been exposed to meditation, to metta practices. What if, let's say 100,000 people even a year have been exposed to meditation that otherwise would not have been that, you know, meditation and mindfulness have become much more mainstream. That's a million people in 10 years, right? That's a million people that have maybe heard the phrase, may all beings everywhere without exception be happy and free from suffering. I feel like even the littlest act of kindness these days is like a drop of water on the desert of I don't know, samsara. There you go. Yeah. Like even the word compassion or empathy is um you're woke or something. Like if you're woke, if you're or something like it's almost like a negative thing. Like, oh gosh, you know.
Question.
Sure.
The technology company Meta, right?
Yeah.
Meta, right?
No.
What is it? Facebook.
That's Oh, that's META. It has nothing to do with Meta.
But there's a correlation, I think, for people who don't understand what Meta is. And when I first heard Meta as a technology company, I was kind of offended. I was like, wait a minute, they're not promoting what I feel Meta is.
Yeah, because meta, it means like data, right? Like meta, META is just means data, like a meta tag, metadata like in your camera, meta descriptions like in SEO, like so Meta as a technology company, now in Meta is METTA, Meta. And of course, if you just say it and don't know, then yeah, but it had zero. I've never read anything that they did that had anything to do with actual meta or that he's a meditator. I mean, does MMA fighting.
I don't think it does, so.
Yeah,
Something's
yeah.
not right.
When
The average person that might not,
true.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I never even thought of it. Well, I remember back when we were doing SEO for the Dharma centers, we used to make, the SEO, you do the back end of websites, you do the meta tags, meta descriptions, so you can rank. And so we wanted our, Dharma center to rank. So we used to joke, we used to do meta for meta, like meta tags for meta for loving kindness. But but yeah, so that's different. I wish it was. I wish it was. Yeah, I wish they had some kind of cool motivation for that. But something that came to me is, the kind of a meditation is, and I think that we could maybe be more explicit is what happens to a society that doesn't know how to care or doesn't care to care or loses its capacity to care. And I think this is something that we can be more, explicit about. And again, like, because for some reason, I feel like the foundation of compassion needs to be somehow validated. And I don't think people are contemplating what happens to a society when they lose their capacity to care. If you lost your capacity to care, what would happen to your society?
Nazi Germany.
It could be Nazi Germany, because this is something that we need to remedy from the inside out, you know. Um, and it's beautiful. I don't think we need to overcomplicate it. Like it's groups like this, it's coming together like this. I think it's so unbelievably beautiful to sit in a space with people that are dedicated to loving kindness and compassion. Just that, just this, the intention that we want happiness for all beings. Just that, unbelievably incredible. Unbelievably incredible. Just like hate groups can grow and all of that stuff, what we're doing here can grow. So one thing that I wanted just to talk about it is a Tibetan practice called the 7 point cause and effect method. And I want to talk about it. I wanted to do it too, but I don't know if we have enough time. Just simply to talk about it, because I really think that anything out in the ethers, if you will, that have to do with loving kindness is powerful. And I want to talk about this one because this one is very, very rare. It's not taught very often. And in the Tibetan tradition, it's used all the time. And they have a pretty good track record with developing bodhicitta, developing the heart. And this is one of their pillar practices. So they have Tonglen. How many of you have practiced Tonglen before? Yeah, very powerful Vajrayana practice. And then how many people have done the 7 point cause and effect method? Some of you have, because I've taught it before. Some of you have. 7 point cause and effect method is one of my all-time favorites. Uh, I rarely teach it. It's a little bit difficult, but you'll see why. Uh, I say you kind of have to. Uh, well, I'll just kind of go through it. I'll tell you some of the difficult pieces. You know what? Because we don't have time for both. Let's just go ahead and do it. We're just gonna do it. We're gonna do the practice. Let's stand up for a moment. Let me sit for a while.
Is this part of the practice you're doing?
No, 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 it's not part. Yeah, we've been sitting for a while, so before we move into a meditative posture, I just wanted us to be able to stand up. Yeah. Okay, cool. So this is the 7-point cause and effect method. It's actually 8 steps. So go ahead and allow your eyes to close if you like. You can go ahead and settle on the body breathing itself just to stabilize the mind a bit. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. And so first we're going to start with the more Vajrayana Tibetan style equanimity practice, which is seeing all beings as equal, and especially equal of our love and kindness. And you could do this by contemplating for a few moments how enemies can become friends, and friends can become enemies. And people that are neutral, they're strangers. You can fall in love with them and they become family. There's all variations of people shifting and changing the labels that we give them. So seeing all beings as worthy of our love and kindness. And next we're going to contemplate the idea that it's possible that all beings have been our mothers in the past. The saints say that we have been reincarnating together for countless eons, and that during that time period, it's possible that not only that is true, and if so, that all beings, a bird, an ant, a fish, even all sentient beings, have been our mother in the past. Might be true. And the next, contemplating the kindness of mothers, be human mothers, animal mothers, not only carrying the child, but of course nurturing and nourishing this child when it is defenseless. Contemplating that in the animal kingdom, mothers routinely risk their life and give their life to protect their offspring. Absolutely amazing. In the animal kingdom, this kindness, amazing. And of course, we're speaking of gender here, but that mother energy does extend, right? Being mothered could be male, female, the mother energy, really connecting with that nurturing, nourishing, unconditional love. So, since all beings have shown us this kindness in the past, contemplate the intention of wanting to repay that kindness. I need to repay the kindness of these beautiful mother sentient beings. Could be a dog in the neighborhood, even be an insect, and of course, a person. All these beautiful mother sentient beings. But not only did these beautiful sentient beings show me kindness, they wish for me to be happy. They also gave me compassion when I was suffering. They took care of me. They showed me great compassion. Therefore, I want to repay that compassion. Contemplating this intention of wanting to free all beings, these mother sentient beings, free them from suffering as they wish this for you. These mother sentient beings showed me kindness. They showed me love, compassion, wanting to repay that. And then contemplating for a few moments that these beautiful mother sentient beings are stuck on the wheel of samsara, stuck in delusion. They cannot see their infinite Buddha nature resting in the bliss of the awakened heart and mind. And so next, contemplating what is called the extraordinary intention. And the extraordinary intention is to become enlightened for the benefit of these beautiful mother sentient beings. And added into this intention is a sincerity, a zeal. They were so kind to me in the past. They gave me love, kindness, and compassion. I must do this for them. The only way we can truly free beings is to be free ourselves. I must attain enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. I must. Allowing this intention to become the focus of your mind, the object of your practice for the next few moments here. This intention of loving kindness. Nice and slowly at your own pace, gently moving back into the body, bringing your awareness eventually to the external environment, allowing the eyes to open when you're ready. Okay. So yeah, let's use that practice as a jump off point. We can go into our smaller groups. Let's keep it no more than 3 if we can. I'll take the people online myself, and maybe talk about how that went for you, how that practice was. And we have about 15 minutes. I'll be right with you guys online.
Hey, everybody there. Hi, Anthony, Allison.
Hi.
Casey come back.
Mhm. Hey, everybody, how are you?
Hi everyone. Hi Brian. Good to see your face.
Good to see you, Ryan. What's up, bud? Thanks for joining us.
What a great topic, Casey. You know, as you were talking about the lack of compassion, it just really reminded me. I go into my office, Department of Transportation, twice a week, and I always go for walks with my coworkers, and there's always people laying on the street.
Mm.
I work very close to Skid Row, and I
Oh,
was
wow.
telling Anthony that 20 years ago, maybe even 15, if we saw someone laying on the street, we'd call 911.
Wow.
Now we
Yeah, it's
just
powerful.
walk around them because we've all gotten jaded. And I think one of the reasons is because we see so much, and we see so much also on the news that we're numb to the
Mm-hmm.
pain and suffering of other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's become acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
It's become the norm, and it's so unfortunate. And yes, I see my lack of compassion as well,
Mm-hmm.
for others that are suffering. We were wondering where what you said 90,000 people have died, or was it kids? Was that in Gaza or no?
No, I don't
Was
think
that
so.
Africa?
No, it was a completely different program
Oh,
that
okay.
was
I was just
defunded.
curious.
More
That
than
was
Yeah,
defunded.
Maybe maybe it was US aid,
I think it's
that called the
Oh,
aid
USAID.
fund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
isn't that's a massive
Mm.
show of discompassion, massive,
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
we would allow something like that to happen in the world. Like, who's stepping up? Which countries are stepping up to help? It's global dispassion.
Mm.
Unbelievable that
Unbelievable.
we allow that to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Thank you for verbalizing that. I think you're so right. I think that it's because of that we see so much
yes.
and then yeah, I think that, for me personally, like you're saying is that just vocalizing like I feel like this is wrong. I know it might sound funny, but just like one little post about like this is wrong, it goes a long way. I'm not jaded to this. This is not good.
Yes.
Um, but thank you.
Yeah. We need
Yeah.
solutions because people like you and all of us want to help. Where
Yes.
do we start? What do we do? Um, we could always send money. Uh, does all of that money get to them? That's another question. Which
Yeah.
organizations will keep less in their pocket and give more to the needy? I know that all of these organizations are good and mean well. A lot of them keep a lot more in their pockets than others. I
Yeah.
don't know.
But it is beautiful that we do care. And
Yes,
that means a lot because it's going to move into the fruition of something too.
I
And we
hope
have
so.
more and more people that care.
I find it
It's just,
overwhelming.
what's
Uh,
that, Brian?
I find it overwhelming. I'm
Yeah.
overwhelmed by
Yes,
the amount, and I like those stories, like about the boy who's throwing the starfish back. It's like little
Yeah.
reminders that
Yes.
do a little thing, something that's going to help. And I just
yeah,
want to say that Casey, this that particular meditation, I really enjoyed it,
Great.
and I did really connect a little bit better with the many. Um, yeah. And although I did think about the flowers and the plants, because I mean, where is sentience? Because if they play music, the plants and they thrive.
That's right.
What
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
is what is it?
Yeah.
And that sort of was an added nice thing about what you were saying about all beings being our mother. That well, even these plants and everything, it's just you bring it all in. So
Yeah.
I loved it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really appreciated the meditation too. And I was I started off thinking, okay, where do I have a block with all the things you were saying? And I thought right away, okay, if I have to go to the ultimate block, it's like, I hate to say it's Donald Trump. It's that same thing, but it's like, I just cannot picture him as my previous mother or something, but, and then I was like, oh, and I know there's all these other people too, in that zone of people. But then when you were talking about animals and mothers and animals, then I started thinking, well, I teach high school and I love teenagers, teaching them. But then I also have to have, like, I have all this compassion for them, but then I need to have like something with like the opposite of just giving, So I was picturing like a mother lion maybe energy where you have to be compassionate. And maybe that's how I could go with, these political figures. Just like, well, it's not just about loving them and being buddy or caring. It's also about something about that. When you were talking about Tonglen too, about the what is it called? I forgot. But the compassion, that's the opposite of what you would just guess compassion is. So
Yeah, yeah, thank you for that. And in this practice, an antidote to the difficult person is actually to flip the the who's the mother. So in other words, you were Donald Trump's mother. Um, and that
I'd
is kind of a
slap
different
him.
feeling. What's that?
I said I'd slap him.
I would too. I'd spank them.
But I get it. I get it. I can
Yeah,
even
so that's the
once in a while
feeling.
pull Trump.
That's the feeling. And yeah, and the feeling is staying with the why would we slap him? You know, because we want to cause less suffering to others. If we feel, go ahead, Sue.
I just have a second because he's
Yeah,
just stepped out.
please,
So
please, yeah.
I remind myself when I try to do the meta phrases for those in power that are, if he were well, if he were happy and at ease, then things would be different. So I do wish that for others, as hard as it is mentally, I just have to get past the mental part and just like if he were well, if he were at ease, it would be different. So that's why I try to remind myself. Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah, you're talking about Trump or people like that, right?
Anyone and
If anybody, if they were
I mean, I
well.
can start with the smallest person that might bother me, but also on a bigger scale, those who are, pick a different leader, pick, somebody else who's doing wrong in the world. If that person were well, if they were happy, if they were at peace, it would be different. And they're not. And we
That's
wish that for
right.
them.
And it boils down to that simple phrase, hurt people, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Ryan, did you have something?
Not
Oh,
really. I
not
mean,
Brian, Ryan. I was saying Ryan.
Yeah, I guess I enjoyed the meditation. I'd never done that one before.
Oh, cool.
Not familiar with it, so I did feel something soften, and that was really nice. And just to kind of join the discussion here, I think that we can all, if people are looking for things to do, a lot of people say that they feel overwhelmed. So just the contemplative practices themselves, I think are so powerful. So we're not hurting or like under-resourced.
Yeah.
Kind of my two cents about that.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah. Yeah. And Brian, did you have something more? I don't want to cut you off either.
no, I just was reminded when we were talking about when Sue said something about seeing the smallest one. It reminded me of when I see my granddaughter who's 11, struggling with becoming a teenager and, being spoiled, hate to say it, that about the pain and her pain. Understand she weren't feeling like she's not getting enough. Then maybe,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to figure out how to be a grandparent there.
Just be soft and cuddly and affectionate and loving.
Honey, I am the bouncing ball that they bounce up and down on. They love my belly.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
let's punch it. See what it does.
Ah.
It's great.
Anthony, I knew you wanted to say something. I just wanted to just say great to see you. And
Thank you.
you look great, man. You look awesome. It's so
Thank
cool.
And
Yeah.
you spell better now too. You do.
Yeah, I feel like I'm
Great to see
coming
you.
around. Things are
Wonderful.
improving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
You know, I just think of this kind of almost from a developmental perspective. You know, I'm a child psychiatrist, and you know, it's like one of the first loves is self-love,
Mm,
and there's no compassion in that. You know, that's just I need, I want, and it just seems like things have gotten very tight in the society. You know,
mm,
financially, people are suffering quite a bit. You know, people are losing their health insurance. People are houses are too expensive for people to buy.
They're
You have to
losing
have
their
two
jobs.
incomes. Yeah, people are getting fired from their jobs. It just seems like kind of part of the lack of compassion is people are suffering,
hmm
and so I think it's a kind of another level of growth when you can actually focus on the needs of other people. And it's difficult in a time when there seems to be scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember a study one time when they did a study where just in some, college-based study, and they gave people a task and they gave them a time pressure on that task. It was like they had to do it in a team. And so they sent teams off to perform this task. And the people that had less time, well, both teams encountered a person in need along the way on their journey to complete this task. And yeah, the group that had the shorter time frame didn't stop and help. You know, they gave them two different, two different time frames to finish the task. The group that had more time, they all stopped and helped. But the people that didn't have time, nobody helped. They just took
Mm.
care of, like you said, like self-preservation. Like, oh, I don't have time for that.
They didn't have the time.
Scarcity, time scarcity, financial scarcity, they go hand in hand. Like, I don't have time because I'm just trying to make money or whatever, Don't have time to help, don't have time to care. You know, I'm not even doing well. So yeah, I think about that one often,
I used
within
to
myself
say,
too. I always say, like, I see somebody who needs help or something. I'm off doing my thing, thinking of myself, you know, and it's interesting, the reaction. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Brian,
yeah,
or
just going to say, I used to have a saying that I say to myself and people that rushing is violence. It's a form of, when you feel like you don't have the time, you can't
mm,
take the time to step in to help somebody else,
yeah,
or you are not paying good attention because you're rushing.
right.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember, you know, growing up and my father was the only one working, and my mother was a housewife, took care of her four sons, and they bought a big, beautiful 5-bedroom, 5-bath house in Rancho Palos Verdes for $50,000. That same house is worth about $3 million now. I
I was
mean,
gonna
it's just
say,
everything has gotten so difficult.
Right,
amazing.
Now it's two parents working, and they still can't make ends meet.
right.
Yeah,
Because jobs haven't, sorry, Tony, jobs haven't kept up
with
with
inflation.
inflation.
Yeah.
they haven't.
I still
Okay.
see jobs paying people $20 and $25 an hour. And
Yeah,
while that may not sound like peanuts, it is. It
peanuts.
When you
is.
I'm
consider
in Massachusetts, and we were talking about wages. Turns out California is actually more there's more equality in wages. Here in Massachusetts, a person working in the kitchen or wait staff kind of people, they're making $3 an hour.
Oh,
Just the number that they're making.
What?
Might have
how
been seven.
can,
What? I thought there's
how
a
can they
national
live?
National
wage.
minimum wage, yeah.
It's
Right,
higher
I
than
thought it was,
that.
No, no, check it out. There are minimum wage for, restaurant workers, I think it was called. They're
wow,
different from state to state.
And that is just literally unbelievable. That's like,
it
Isn't it?
is,
that's
Isn't
back
it?
when I
it
was a
is.
kid. I mean,
You can't
Right.
live
I
off
think
of
that's what
that.
I probably made $5
Well, they,
an hour or something.
they figure it evens out in the tips for these people, but come on.
Sweet Jesus.
California
Oh,
minimum wage is the same for almost everybody. But
Wow.
I was
Wow,
blown
that's
away when I heard that.
mm,
I just recognize the time. I got to get back to the large group. So thank you all very, very much.
thank
Thanks,
you, and good
Casey.
Yeah.
seeing
Thank you,
everybody.
Casey, and everybody. Good
Thank you.
seeing you all.
Good seeing you.
Yeah, you too. Open the windows. Let some sunshine in there. When are we going out for breakfast? Anthony, I want to talk more about that thing you were talking about. Now I can't remember what it was.
Yeah,
We were gonna come today, but I'm having
Stomach
stomach
problems.
issues, my gastrointestinal something, I don't know.
it's good to see you, Anthony. The last time I saw you was in Metta Forest Monastery in February. So
Yeah.
Likewise.
see.
Yeah, it's good to be seen.
Yeah.
Kind of had
Okay,
some
so just
challenges.
coming back, everybody. Troublemakers over there. Yeah, so just coming back.
I never heard that before.
Let's just come into our meditative posture one more time, dedicate the merit. Just starting off with some gratitude. Just thank you so much for everybody this morning to come together. I know it's for me so therapeutic. We talked about how there's not a lot of explicit loving kindness and compassion maybe around. Maybe it is for your world. I hope so. It's so nourishing to kind of drink from the well of like-minded people with these beautiful intentions. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And contemplating for a few moments as we dedicate the merit that this is rare and precious. So many of these mother sentient beings do not have this opportunity. So dedicating the merit, all the wisdom, the love, the kindness, the compassion, the insights, the togetherness, the belonging, the peace, the joy, all of it. Any goodness, can we send this along to all beings? Offering it to all beings. May all beings everywhere, without exception, may they all be happy, truly, truly happy, and free from suffering. Om Mani Padme Hum.
Thank you.